Hello Year 2 and welcome to this week's science project. Now this project is all about weather. Now we've had some pretty horrible weather recently. It's been cold and grey and rainy, always rainy. But today we're going to look at the weather in Ipswich and compare it to the weather of some places all around the world. So Mr. Lake, we have here our weather chart, okay? Now to start with, we're going to look at the weather in Ipswich, which I think is pretty good. Cause
yeah, makes sense. That's where we live, isn't it?
So under this box where it says location, that means the place. So could you write in Ipswich there for us?
And I need a capital I for Ipswich, don't I?
Absolutely.
There we go. So Ipswich.
Okay, so now across here we've got different days and dates. So today, of course, is Wednesday and it's the 6th of January 2021. So we'll look up the weather for today and then we will put that information in there. So I'm just going to step aside so I can find out what the weather is on Google. So what I'd like you to do is you go to Google and then you simply just type in weather Ipswich. Okay, so today is Wednesday, of course. So if you look here at this information, you can see that it is 4 degrees, how should we say it? Should we say Celsius or centigrade?
I would say Celsius.
Celsius, so it's 4 degrees Celsius, and the weather is, of course, very cloudy and rainy.
Brilliant. And what I like there, so we get the temperature, so how hot or cold it is. Then we've got a little symbol, like symbols when we were looking at maps last term, okay? That symbol is a little picture that represents the weather.
So, on here, I think if let's draw that symbol as neatly as we can. So maybe we could choose a nice sort of grey colour.
Yeah. So I think what that symbol meant was cloudy and rainy, wasn't it?
Yes.
So if we have a grey cloud, oh, it's coming out blank. Let's try again. Might not work. Yep, there we go. So nice grey cloud. There it is. I will colour it in, but that will take some time, and then some rain coming out of the cloud. There we go.
Excellent. And then I think if we go back to our normal pencil colour, and at the side, if we just write 4 degrees C.
Yep. So 4. Oh, it's coming out blue, but that's okay. There we go.
Lovely. And then what we'll do tomorrow on Thursday, we'll check the weather again and fill it in, and the same on Friday. But now, Mr. Lake, we've looked at the weather in Ipswich and we can tell it's pretty cold and rainy. But let's have a look at the weather. Oh dear, technical issues. That should work now. Let's have a look at the weather somewhere else around the world. Now, Mr. Lake, we have a map of the world here. Where should we find out the weather?
Well,
what would be interesting to you?
Well, I mean, we could look somewhere quite close, but it might be a bit similar. I don't know. Maybe we should look somewhere far away. What do you think?
Yeah. Should we go down here to the... So this is the northern hemisphere, isn't it? And so we go to the southern hemisphere down here.
Yeah, brilliant. So I like what you're saying there, because you might see, children, there's this line that's going through here. What is the middle of the map, okay? Now that line isn't real, as in you wouldn't see it if you went to those places on the map. It's not really there on the floor. But we call that line the equator, and it's an imaginary line that goes right through the middle of the globe, okay? And it's quite hot on the equator, all right? And above it, you've got the northern hemisphere. That's where we are. And then below it, you've got the southern hemisphere, all right? And we're going to find out a bit more about seasons and how that affects seasons later on. But as we're in the northern hemisphere, it'd be quite interesting to look and see somewhere in the southern hemisphere.
So what I'm going to do then, because South Africa, I don't know why, I just want to find out the weather in South Africa. So obviously South Africa is a big country, so the weather might be different in different places. So actually, if we go in here, look, I think, so there is there is a very big city in South Africa called Cape Town. Okay, so I'd quite like to look up should we look, what do you think, Johannesburg or Cape Town? What would you like?
Let's do Cape Town.
Cape Town, easier to spell.
Exactly.
So let's go for, so in our weather chart, let's go for Cape Town. So we go back to our weather chart.
Yep.
So let's write Cape Town in the location.
Fantastic. So I'm going to put in Cape split, Cape Town. Remembering my capital letters again for the place. Cool.
Great. So now I'm simply going to go back onto Google, and I'm just going to type in weather, and so there it says weather Cape Town, and I will just press enter, and here we go. So we see on today, which is Wednesday. Okay, so we've got the temperature 23 degrees Celsius.
Wow, that's quite a lot higher, isn't it?
It's quite, I'd like to be there, it's a lot warmer. Okay,
Absolutely.
and we can see sunny with a bit of cloud.
So just partially cloudy.
Okay, so
that's
let's,
interesting. So I'll do my drawing again, shall I? So I want, well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a cloud. I have to make it grey. So let's do cloud. Because it wasn't completely sunny, it was a bit cloudy. And then around the outside, I'm going to do the sun, which is just a little bit blocked. Right, and some rays of light coming out of the sun. There we go. So I've got my symbol there. Very different to today's weather in Ipswich, isn't it? It was cloudy and rainy here. But in Cape Town, it's just partly cloudy, but mostly sunny. And can you remember the temperature?
yes, it was 23 degrees Celsius.
Brilliant. So 23, and then for degrees Celsius, we do that little O, and then a C.
Great. Now, let's do one more, shall we?
Yeah,
Mr.
shall we
Lake?
go quite far away again?
Let's go. Now, I'll just get the map up. So I'll zoom back out now. Oh, we've got Antarctica down at the bottom, that'd be interesting. Japan over here, got Russia here. United States of America here, Brazil. What interests you, Mr. Lake? What would you like to...
I would quite like to go to Antarctica now that you've tempted me there by...
Antarctica.
Yeah, no, I think, so Antarctica, there are some people that are in Antarctica, usually for research, like scientists. There aren't like towns and cities like you have in most other countries. But I reckon it's possible to find out the weather in Antarctica.
I think, well, shall we, because again, I mean, Antarctica is obviously a massive continent. So should we go for the South Pole?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go for the South
Pole.
Let's see, this is exciting. Okay, weather, South Pole. Now, hopefully this will, oh, I've spelled south wrong. Okay. Okay. So this is a little bit more tricky. Okay, but
time and date. There we go.
I think we can still find it here. So, crikey me. The temperature is, if we look, say Wednesday, down here. So the temperature is, Mr. Lake, it is minus 26 degrees Celsius.
Wow.
And it's mainly cloudy with a little bit of sun.
But very, very cold. So that's much colder than even your freezer at home, minus 26. So let's put in South Pole. South Pole. So you said it was mostly cloudy. It said there was a little bit of sun, but so it doesn't look the same as that. I'm just going to put a cloud for cloudy, a grey cloud. And then maybe another little one there. There we go. So it's cloudy. And then what was the temperature, Mr. Fenn?
It was minus 26.
So we do a little minus or takeaway sign there. And minus 26. Wow.
Yeah, and if you think about it, we start getting ice and things start freezing when it gets to 0 degrees Celsius. So minus 26 is much lower than that. So it's much colder than it ever gets in Ipswich.
Wow. Very, very cold.
Okay. And then
somewhere else?
Yeah, why not? Let's find one more place then, shall we? Okay, so let's go for this time. Let's get the maps up. Oh, dear me. Let's go for. I'll tell you what. Let's go for Japan because as probably the people, certainly the people in my class know, I did live there a while ago. So this is actually the town where this is the city where I used to live. It's called Okayama.
Yep.
Should we go for that?
Let's go for it.
Okay. So OKAYAMA. Now,
Okay.
let's
It's in the
have-
northern hemisphere though.
It's in the northern hemisphere. Yes, it's in the northern hemisphere. So if I just go back to Google and I'm going to write weather Okayama. No, I spelled it wrong, but never mind. Okay, so the weather is still quite cold. It's 9 degrees Celsius, but it's very, very, very sunny.
Yeah, so you wouldn't want to go out in shorts and t-shirt in that kind of weather, would you, Mr.
No.
Fair?
But it's quite nice. They have a lot of sunny days there. It's nice, crisp, cold, but nice and sunny.
But nice and sunny.
Yes.
No clouds like in Cape Town today. So I'm going to just draw the sun. There we go, because it's a sunny day. There we go. And then, can you remember the weather, Mr. Fenn?
Yes, it was. The temperature was 9 degrees Celsius.
Fantastic. 9 degrees Celsius. There we go. Wow.
Okay. Isn't that interesting? You've got different temperatures and different weathers and different places around the
Yeah.
world.
Isn't it amazing that here it's 4 degrees and raining at the moment, but then if we were in Cape Town right now, we could be outside. It'd be lovely, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely t-shirt and shorts there.
Yeah, certainly not t-shirt and shorts there in the South Pole.
No.
Far too cold.
And then what we can do, we can track this. So tomorrow we can check the weather again and again on Friday and see if there's any changes.
Excellent.
So we'd like you guys to do this at home. Pick any place around the world that interests you. Maybe New York, maybe Tokyo, maybe Beijing, maybe Paris. Any place you'd be interested to know what the weather is and have
Have a
fun with
look
it.
on the map as well, because we saw Northern Hemisphere and Southern Hemisphere quite different weather at the moment. So have a look, try and get some different places, and keep track of the weather over the next few days.
Have fun.